Guys, don't judge my eyebrows. Welcome to my channel. I am Kenzie. I am going to be posting once a week just to share life experiences, stories, preferably funny stories, but just stories in general, things I've learned along the way, maybe share some wisdom with everyone. I'm only 29. I turned 30 this year, so I have a lot left to learn, but you know, I think everyone has something to contribute and share, and so if something I say makes someone laugh, or just they can get some sort of wisdom out of it, great. I'm happy to do that. But this is my first time content creating. This is my first long form video. I've been making TikToks for about a month now and decided to make the big leap into YouTube. And let's address the elephant in the room. My eyebrows are not usually this color. I'm dyeing them. I decided that when I make these videos once a week that I'm going to do something that is like self-care for me, because I have two little ones. I have two under 3. And so I don't get a lot of free time to just manage myself and take care of myself. So I'm going to do 2 birds with 1 stone on this. But I have like a big idea for my life, a big vision. And there's a lot of things I want to be able to do with my family, for my family. And I thought content creation could be a path towards that. My husband is the one who actually encouraged me to do it, because I have been a long time watcher of content and all things internet. I've consumed so much internet, it's insane. And he just said, you know, if you really enjoy it, why not give it a try? So that's what I'm doing. I am trying. I have a lot of reasons to not do this. I'm very nervous and scared to be putting this out on the internet. Because I think that when you post online, especially in an honest way and in a way that like reflects yourself, you become very vulnerable online. You have a lot of things that you're sharing about yourself and about your life, that leaves you kind of open to a lot of criticism, and that makes me nervous. Another thing that makes me anxious is I grew up in a house where my mom was convinced that we, and by we, I mean me and my siblings, were going to be discovered on YouTube like Justin Bieber and become mega stars for singing. I don't like singing in public. So that was very traumatic for me, actually. There's more than I would like on the internet with me, like, basically pretty much against my will, singing and performing online. So that left me a little traumatized, and that will be a longer video for another time. But I guess the second thing that makes me really nervous is just, there's like a lot of people on the internet and they can all judge you, you know, and what if this doesn't work? What if I'm just putting stuff out on the internet and no one's watching, and it's a big flop and a big failure, and I've just been making myself vulnerable for nothing? That makes me very anxious. But then I kind of had this revelation that no one cares about you. And I don't mean that in like a negative way. I mean that in actually a very positive way. There's this concept called Sonder that I am kind of obsessed with and I love. It's this idea that everyone's life is as unique and interesting and complicated as your own. So the stranger that I walked by on the sidewalk and couldn't even tell you what color hair they had, their life is just as complicated as mine. They have just as many things going on, just as many thoughts running through their head. So again, like, no one cares about you, which is, I think, very freeing, because then you can kind of put yourself out there and not have to worry so much about what people think. So that makes it easier. The other thing I was worried about was, like, for some reason, people from high school, I'm 29, and I was so anxious about posting online because, well, what if people from high school saw? Who cares what people from high school saw? Like, I don't wish any of them ill. Good, you know, I hope that they're doing very well for themselves. But But like, I shouldn't be making life decisions or any decisions in general based off of people that I haven't talked to in a decade or seen in a decade. I mean, like, that's not how decisions need to be made. By the way, this is what I'm using for my eyebrows. It's called eyebrow henna, and you put like a half a scoop of this spoon into a little cup, and then you put 12 drops of water in, and then you mix it up until it's really fine, and then you put it on your eyebrows. I saw that a lot of people have been doing, what have people been doing? Oh, men's like beard dye, and I will do that next after this runs out. But this was my first like foray into dyeing my eyebrows, and I started dyeing them. Dropped something. I started dyeing them because my eyebrows are very fair naturally, and so when I put on any makeup, like any like foundation, I look like I have no eyebrows. And I got tired of trying to pencil them in every day. I just wanted something that I could just forget about. So that's why I started dyeing my eyebrows. But yeah, you shouldn't be making life decisions based off of, you know, people that you don't talk to anymore. Or even people that you do talk to. I mean, that's a little more nuanced, but it needs to be people you trust. Like, I definitely blocked all of my family. And I love them, but I blocked all of them just to give myself a cushion to post online. I will unblock them when I'm comfortable enough for them to see my online activities. And maybe they have already seen it somehow with like a secondary account, or someone's sent it to, I don't know, maybe. But I am way more comfortable posting online with the assumption that they're not seeing it. I don't think they would judge me. I don't know. Maybe they would. I just don't even want to think about it. I don't want anyone I know in real life to know that I'm doing this until I'm comfortable, like much more comfortable. Again, the growing pains of content creation. Another thing with content creation though is we go back to you being vulnerable online, and you need to make sure that your confidence and your self-worth and value is coming from you, like internally, and you're not looking for that external validation from people, which I know sounds kind of counter to posting online. You think that, oh, if you post online, that person needs the external validation because they need the likes, etc., etc., etc. I actually now, and I used to think that way. I used to be one of those persons. Every time I saw someone post online a lot, I was like, they just need that validation. They need the dopamine hit of a like, of a follow. And now that I've been posting online, I don't think that's the case. I think these people are very comfortable with who they are. And I think I was the one who was not seeking out external validation, but I was cautious. I was overly cautious of it. So I just think that's such an interesting perspective shift of my own. To think that at some point I thought people were seeking external validation, and now I'm like, no, they're the most confident people I know. They are very sure of themselves. Good for them. I wish I could be more like them. I'm trying to be more like them. I'm gonna wash off my eyebrows now. You're supposed to leave them on for 15 minutes, and I put these on before I started recording. And so now it's just about that time, you know what I mean? Cold water. Another thing about posting online content creation, I'm sure a lot of you have already heard the Let Them theory by Mel Robbins. First of all, obsessed. I'm obsessed with her. But this idea that who cares? Like, it's not just who cares, it's if people judge you, if people talk about you, if they have opinions, you know, everyone has an opinion, but if it's about you, as long as it's not impacting your life, let them talk about you. Let them have their opinions about you and their conversations about you, because it's not impacting your life. And likely, you don't even know that it's happening. See, these are so good. My husband always makes fun of me Actually, I think this is the best they've ever turned out. My husband always makes fun of me whenever I do them because when I dye them the first night or two, they're so dark. And he's always like worried that they're going to stay that way forever. And I'm like, no, it's okay. They fade. It'll be fine. These turned out really, I'm surprised actually. These are really nice. I'm pleased with that. So the let them theory, just let them think about you. Let yourself occupy space in their mind, because again, it does not impact you whatsoever. And all of this led me to just come to the realization that fear is not, I got water on my laptop down here, so I gotta wipe that off. Fear is not a good enough reason to not do something. And that was basically my reason. I mean, fear was my reason, but it's not a good enough reason. You want to put yourself out there. It gives you opportunities that were never available to you, will never be available to you if you don't put yourself out there. No one's going to know. I actually saw this wonderful video. I saw this wonderful video of this guy who said, the internet markets you, puts you in markets that you would have never existed in before, and amplifies your chances of being seen, hired, paid, all of that, because you only exist in the market pretty much locally where you live. The internet is a tool, content is a tool, social media is a tool. Put yourself out there, because all you're doing is multiplying the amount of markets that you are available in to make money. Why wouldn't you do that? Fear is not a good enough reason to not do something, whether it's the fear of being seen or the fear of failure. It's just not a good enough reason. So this is me saying, why couldn't I be a content creator? Why not give it a try? Why would I fail? Why couldn't this open some doors for me and change me and my family's life? Why couldn't I be the lucky lottery winner of content creation's mega millions? Why not me? So I am giving it the old college try, and I hope that you guys enjoy this. I hope that I'm able to contribute something. I hope that, this isn't all in vain, but at the same time, even if it is, that's okay, because I'm finding that I'm already learning stuff about myself, which is intense. But don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell to notify you when I post something new. Thanks, guys. I am gonna have to take a shot for every time I say this is crazy. You really don't realize what your speaking patterns are like until you start trying to do it.